Hello and welcome into episode 94 of Two Man Game with Damon and Dom. I'm Damon, that's Dom, and you are the listener. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe on YouTube, on Spotify, leave 5 stars, and on either platform. Share, and share some more. We hope you enjoyed our 3 hour and 15-minute episode that we released just a couple of days ago. And here we are, Monday evening. NBA season kicks off tomorrow. So we got to come back to you with our awards that we didn't get to in last episode, despite how long it was. But before we do any of that, Dom, how are you?
So I just realized 94 episodes, huh? That's a big number. That's crazy. I'm so happy for us. I am good. I'm well. I had a good weekend. I played tennis for the first time yesterday. No, sorry. For the first time in a long time yesterday. And my lower back was more sore than I thought it would be. But yeah, it was a good weekend and saw some shows, saw a lot of friends, and I'm excited. I'm so excited for tomorrow. I have band practice, but I am going to be not locked in there, and I will be watching the Lakers and
Don't
Warriors
tell the
for
band.
sure. I'm not gonna tell the band. There's gonna be a why are you looking down the whole time? It's on the floor. I don't know.
You have AirPods in, just listening to the
Oh,
game
you just
instead
listen.
of.
Yeah, just like the radio. It's like you have an AirPod, and it's like I'm not listening to the game. It's like
I
we
got
didn't
the
say you
music
were.
playing right here, just so
Yeah,
just
I
in
got
case.
the BPMs. Yeah, I got
Yeah.
the tunes right here. It's like, okay, sure. Hey, how are you doing?
I'm doing all right. It's going to be a very long week at the workplace, but that is to be expected around this time of year. What did I do this weekend? Nothing that I can remember, but it was fun nonetheless, I'm sure. Lots of lots of R&R, as they say. Actually, you know what I started yesterday? I started I'm a little late to this, but the Indiana Jones game. I was like, oh, let me give this one a whirl.
Dude, I even played I would say I played about 20% of that game because I started and then ran out of time. I had no time. It was just sitting there. So I give it back to Mason. What do you think?
Yeah, it's really good so far. I was like, oh, this is a well-made game right here.
It's so
Um,
fun.
but yeah, I got to the Vatican or whatever, where you're like open
Oh,
up in the Vatican, and I was like, oh, there's a lot to do here. Uh-oh. So we'll see how much I just came from like three back-to-back-to-back giant RPG games that all took me almost 100 hours. So, um, you know, we don't have infinite time.
yeah, I mean it's super fun. I hope you like it. And especially like the Indiana Jones games. It's or the movie, sorry. It's like perfect.
Yeah. It's a well-made product for sure. I was gonna respond to something you said. 94 episodes. Yeah, we'll have to do something for the big 100, I'm sure.
I know, it's so much pressure. That might it actually 100 might line up perfectly with me being there for Thanksgiving. That's kind of crazy.
Thanksgiving's in like a month. I don't think we're 6 episodes in the next month.
I don't know. It could
I
be
guess we'll have to make it
something.
work.
We'll find a way. We could drop a 5 minute episode that counts for one right before or something. I don't know.
Well,
Yeah, but yeah, it's cool. It's been great doing this for what we did for 2 seasons. This is the third season, right?
yes, this is the third NBA season we'll have talked about.
I can't wait. I'm very excited for this season. And to start off, we have some signings
Signings.
or lack thereof, such as the
Hmm.
Brooklyn Nets waiving guard Kobe Buffkin after trading cash for him this offseason.
Sad. They got 5 point guards they drafted, so they said we don't need this guy, I guess.
And they still traded him for it's
They just gave the
sometimes
Hawks some money. I said, here you
y-
go.
yeah, sometimes the league is too much like a business for my liking, but hopefully Kobe Buffkin finds a place. I know he got some minutes on the Hawks and he wasn't too bad, so maybe a team is willing to sign him on like a little deal. We'll see.
Right, just like the Phoenix Suns signed Jordan Goodwin after he was waived from the Lakers this offseason. They picked him up and he's sticking around. He made that 15-man roster, so excited for him. He was on the Suns previously, so hopefully he is there a little longer this time. We're Jordan Goodwin fans on this podcast.
He is a very good NBA player. I am upset that we we have Marcus Smart instead of him. I hope Marcus Smart proves me wrong, but so far hasn't looked really like the DPOY that he was with the Celtics, with all the injury stuff going on. So I guess we shall see. But congrats to Jordan Goodwin. He deserves to be on a roster, and I will be rooting for him on the Suns. The only player I really like on the Suns, I might add. No
Yeah.
one else I really know that well.
Ryan Dunn. They just
Ryan
drafted
Dunn's cool.
Malawach. I like Malawach.
I don't know him.
I like Jalen Green. My Rockets relationship with him was a little a give and take, but now that he's not on my team, I can probably like root for
Like
him
him
a
a
little
little bit
more.
more.
Like, yeah, go ahead. Yeah, don't do that over here though. Um,
Yeah. Yeah, throw up that half court shot. Go for it. You're on the Suns now, please.
yeah,
Uh,
and we had some big rookie extensions take place as well. Why don't you kick us off with one of your pet teams, I like to call them, the Portland Trail Blazers.
That's a really good word for it. And I will probably be seeing them this Sunday against the Clippers. So very excited for that. The Blazers signed Toumani Camara to a 4-year, $82 million extension. So about 20.5 million a year. Great deal. He's been, I think, sneaky good. I don't think he was part of a trade. I think, was it when
He was
Nikhil
part of the
Alexander?
DeAndre Ayton trade. He hadn't really played just yet. I think he was a second round pick that same year that he was drafted, traded to the Blazers with DeAndre Ayton for Nurkic. Yikes trade for the Suns.
Yeah. Not looking too good. We also didn't love it at the time, if I remember correctly. I was just happy that the
We did
Blazers,
not.
yeah, yeah, or like the Suns got rid of him, but yeah, it wasn't. Anyways, Toumani Camara is great, and I see a future where he could be able to start trying out some different lineups and whatnot. But yeah, he's a defensive master, and if he just gets his offensive game like going a little bit more and more, I think that's a really good value too. Just about 20 million a year. I like this a lot. And then Shaedon Sharpe, another one of their younger guys, 4-year, $90 million extension. What do you think about this?
Yeah, it's a kind of a prospect to deal a little over $20 million a year. It's always like, oh, man, he hasn't really done much, but he's still pretty young and the ceiling is still definitely there. The athleticism is still there. You just kind of hope the skills come with it at some point. I would say so far they haven't for the most part. Also because he's been injured quite a bit too early on in his career. So I like it's not like there's the 4-year rookie max, so it's not crazy, but yeah, I think numbers like this, I keep having to remember how much the salary cap has changed in the NBA.
Yeah, I thought it was a little high, but exactly, we'll see kind of what other extensions for rookies are like, and definitely doesn't deserve the max because I don't think he's really played enough to be able to show that he deserves that just this at this time. I think he has a tremendous upside though. We like Shane Sharp. We think he should start. I like him on the Blazers. He's really fun to watch. He just jumps so high. It's kind of electrifying to see. And I kind of would have assumed he was kind of more the same as Toumani Camara, though it's not that big of a difference, like 8 million over the 4 years. That's really the difference. So it'll probably look better after like the second year. I feel like it'll once the cap kind of increases even more, it'll look even better. But I like both of them. I'm glad that the Blazers are locking them in for the future.
Yeah, it's one of those deals where it feels like you said, 2 years after, they could look really good or really bad. If he like totally bust out, um, then it looks really bad. But if he becomes like a really, really solid player, then it looks like he's getting underpaid. So you never know.
Yeah. And the Blazers have the money, so I'm not too worried, especially once Jeremy Grant's contract is up, whenever, what's that, 8 years from now, feels like. Who
So yeah,
knows?
that is what it feels like.
Yeah.
Um, Another rookie extension that just kicked in, Dyson Daniels and the Hawks signed a 4-year, $100 million extension. So 10 more than Shaedon Sharpe that we just talked about. Obviously, he had a great season last season for them. And that's a big reason why this contract looks the way it does. Because if he signed this last season, it would have been like 4 years, 40 million. So big season, big payday. I got no issue with it. How do you feel?
It's so funny you say that because I was just about to say that if he signed this last year, it would be for 40 million, 45 million. But because of what a great just asset he seemed to be and how well him and Trae Young worked as this backcourt for the Hawks, and especially, the future looks bright in Atlanta. Dyson Daniels unexpectedly being a part of that. I don't think they really knew he was going to be as good as he was, and I'm happy for him. And he definitely deserves a 25 million a year for a defensive specialist who is going to lead the league in steals, perhaps again, or like definitely be top five is definitely worth it.
Yeah, I wonder.
And
I'm not doubting, but I wonder, now that last season has occurred, what will this season look like for him? Even if it's relatively similar, but like I feel like it'll come back to earth a little bit because last season was such a like huge jump. I wonder what people will kind of say. I feel like there will have to be a fall to regression
for sure, it'll
or
it'll come down a
regression to the
little.
mean rather.
Yeah, it'll come down a little bit, and this has happened so much in NBA history where someone comes to a team and gets really good, and then they sign this massive contract. But thankfully, this isn't massive. This isn't like a $40 million, $50 million contract or anything. 25 a year. But happy for him. I hope he's able to keep up with it, and I think the Hawks seem like they are contenders. So with him, I think they want to be there as part of the future. So I love that for him. And also another integral part of a team, who really showed off what he was made of last year. Christian Braun on the Denver Nuggets signed a 5-year, $125 million extension. So same as Dyson Daniels, just an extra year. So 5 years, they're locking him in. I like this a lot because I feel like Christian Braun, his it will be one of those contracts in like 3 years where 25 million is going to look too little for him. So I like this move for the Nuggets. I mean, they just keep spending a ton of money on these guys, but I think their window is now. So definitely want to have the best guys around Jokic in his prime. So I like this deal. What about you?
Yeah, I like it as well. 25 million a year, 5 years. I feel like he'll be kind of right near the end of his prime at the end of this. He did come into the league a little older, so he's already like 24, 25 years old. And I think that, with the difference with him and the other guys is I feel like he's kind of who he is as a player. Like I really don't see a ton of like growth that can happen in terms of like becoming a second option or something like that on a team. I feel like he's just really solid at a lot of things, but not really a star, and that's fine. That's what a lot of teams need. So this will be good for him. Maybe a little, you say it might be a little too little. I wonder with the amount that Jokic is going to make. Jamal Murray makes a huge contract and Aaron Gordon also makes a lot of money. And the Nuggets have famously been pretty cheap and losing. They lost Bruce Brown a couple years ago, Jeff Green, like KCP. So we'll see, what it does to their team if they have like this core four guys all on these like big deals.
It's a very good point. I guess
It's
we'll
not
find
that
out.
big, but just the combination of what the other deals, I mean.
Yeah, and we'll see, how long everyone sticks around for. I mean, I know they definitely want to keep this core for as long as possible before they're not maxed out of, their potential or if they get too expensive. So, um, yeah, 5 years is a long time, but I think it'll be good.
We shall see. We shall see.
And I'll pull up the receipts. Episode 94. Remember I said Christian he's gonna be like all-star
Mm,
caliber. Remember I said this is a good deal. This is a good deal.
fair, fair, fair. How about this? Kevin Durant and the Rockets agreed to a 2-year, $90 million extension. So when he was going to be traded, he was eligible for up to 120 million. By going to the Rockets, he knew he was going to take some amount of pay cut because we don't have that much cap to spend. And he agreed to said pay cut. 45 million is still obviously a lot. But with this deal, if we look at every player in the NBA's career earnings, as well as what they're going to earn over the next couple of years, he will have the highest NBA career earnings at 598.2 million, surpassing LeBron James. So they are both 1 and 2 right now based on their current contracts. Obviously, next offseason comes, LeBron signs a $60 deal again, or $60 million deal again because he's on a 1 year deal right now, accepting his player option. Then he'll pass Kevin Durant back up, and they'll go back and forth until they retire. But then it also makes sense with the salary cap constantly going up. This will be passed over and over again, basically.
Yeah. What do you think about the deal, 2 year, 90 million?
Yeah, it's a good deal. I think it's good that he's going to be here for like he's already kind of locked in, and it's not like, oh, we traded for him and then he's gone in the season. That would be unfortunate. And he's obviously older and stuff, so I'm glad it wasn't like here's a giant 4 year million or 4 year deal. Um, so yeah,
Yeah, that,
but
that was my biggest concern, honestly. That was going to be bigger. But seeing a 2 year deal, 90 million, 45 million a year is very good for KD. And I gotta say, I'll talk a little bit more about this later, but I'm watching like the starting five, and Kevin Durant is one of the players. I gotta say, he's turning me to a KD fan, kind of.
Yeah, I've become more of a KD fan as the years have gone on. I think I was a big KD fan in his early career. Then he went to the Warriors, and that really tanked it for me. And yeah, I think like his persona and just the way he kind of talks to people about basketball and stuff like that, how he engages with people on Twitter. I know people kind of make fun of, but like he just kind of gets on there and says whatever he's thinking, and you can't really say that about a lot of people. And then a lot of people aren't expected to do it. You're not expected to engage with millions of people on the internet. That's not
Yeah.
realistic. But I like that he kind of just has like a no holds barred kind of attitude towards everything. He's like, I'm just gonna say it how it is.
Yeah, and he honestly when I hear him talk, he just loves basketball, which is also
Hmm.
anyone that just talks about how much the love of the game for them, like it gets me every time. Can't say James Harden does that in the show, but I'll tell you, we'll talk about that a little bit later.
Daryl Morey is a liar.
That's gonna be one of my
Oh,
board.
your
I'm gonna get a
soundboards.
soundboard. Daryl Morey is a liar. Uh, Injury. We got some injury news. This is hopefully not too serious. Domantas Sabonis of the Sacramento Kings injured his hamstring and will be out for about a week. This was on Saturday, so maybe we'll miss 2, 3 games perhaps, and hopefully it doesn't result in anything more serious. And he's resting. I don't think missing the first 2, 3 games is too crazy. Just hopefully it's nothing worse than that.
Yeah, gotta be careful of those soft tissue injuries so you don't re-aggravate them. So hopefully he
Hmm.
just stays out until he's 100% good to go. Who are the Kings gonna start at center?
I
Uh,
don't know who's there. You know what? While
that's
you talk about this next thing, I'm gonna look it up because I'm I'm very
Dario
curious.
Saric. Hello.
He is there. My
Trey
king,
Lyles. He's
literally.
gonna start at
Trey
center.
Trey Lyles, I found out is playing overseas now.
Oh, okay. Great.
So that's how we found that
Breaking
out.
news. I'm like, I literally can't think. Okay, you're gonna look at that. I'm gonna talk about Scotty Pippen Jr. having surgery for an injury to his left big toe. Is gonna be reevaluated in 12 weeks. So that is obviously a ton of season that he is going to miss. He had a very good season for the Grizzlies last year. They do have Ty Jerome over there now to fill in some of that void. But if you don't remember from last episode, Ja Morant is also injured. So I guess Ty Jerome is going to be kind of coming in as the starting point guard at the start of the season. And then their bench point guard depth is not looking too hot right now. I have the Grizzlies low in my standings for a reason, and the reasons keep piling up.
Yeah, that is very unfortunate, but is it surprising? I really want Scottie Pippen Jr. to play because he really showed last year that he could be a very good NBA player, and the Lakers really didn't appreciate him. I'm glad the Grizzlies gave him a place to show off his talents, come back soon. But yeah, can we say we're surprised? I mean, I'm just expecting as the season goes on, oh, this Pelicans player is out. This Grizzlies player is out. Oh, he might come back. He's not coming back just yet. Things like that. And real quick to go back to the Kings. So it looks like they will probably start Drew Eubanks, who signed there,
Mm-hmm.
or Dario Saric.
Awesome. Very,
So
very
0 and
exciting.
3, 0 and 3 seasons for the Sacramento Kings. They're washed. Anyways, we're not going to talk about that right now. We're going to talk about, I mentioned it earlier. So, Starting Five Season 2 just released on Netflix. I am like halfway through the second episode. It's pretty cool so far. It's Jaylen Brown, Tyrese Halliburton, James Harden, Kevin Durant, and Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. and I gotta say it's pretty good so far. I'm really enjoying it, like I did the last season. But I will check in when I kind of learn more things about it and whatnot. I know they kind of talk about the Brooklyn Nets and how that whole thing fell apart eventually. I saw some things about that, so I'm very curious to, you know, let people know what I found out watching that. I found out that Shea Gilgeous-Alexander loves playing basketball. That's what I found out.
What?
He does it all the time. And it's kind of crazy the people they picked, how it was literally picked two players who end up playing in the finals. It started with that game 7 in the finals and up until the moment when Halliburton goes out. And I was like, did you? I was like, I guess they had to. I wish they didn't because I didn't want to see that. It's kind of graphic. Um, but I get it. They're like, oh, we have to do this moment. Literally, it's two players playing the finals. So it is good. I will let y'all know more about it as I watch it.
Please do. We would love to hear all of your words on it. How about tomorrow, NBA tip-off? The season's here, Dom, and both of our teams are shooting up.
You know what's crazy is while I was driving home today thinking about the NBA season starting tomorrow, I almost started crying. I was like tearing up. I was like, I've waited so long
I
for
can't
this.
wait.
It hasn't like hit me, and it won't hit me until I'm watching it again. Like, oh, we're watching basketball that matters. This is crazy. Anyways, please tell me why are we super stoked for tomorrow, especially?
Well, tomorrow, the Rockets are at the Thunder. It is ring ceremony for the Thunder. They are getting their championship honors and all of that. And of course, it is Kevin Durant will be there visiting for the Rockets, formerly of the Thunder. Not recently, but seeing the team that you went to the finals with all the way back in 2013, I believe it was, maybe 2012. One of those. No, it was 2012 for sure.
Yeah.
Um, and now seeing them celebrate their ring with a whole new team, I'm sure it can be painful regardless of the fact that he has obviously won rings on the Warriors since then, and it's his first look with the Rockets. I'm very excited about that game, excited how the Rockets going to come out punching against this very tough team. Would be a little more excited if we have Fred VanVleet, but oh well. And yeah, I think it's going to be a fun opener. I'm honestly not expecting a Rockets win. The Thunder so much with continuity coming off their championship team. We're still, this is game 1 of the regular season with our kind of revamped look. So, it might take a little bit of getting used to before we start clicking.
Yeah, I'm very excited for Rockets at Thunder. I will have it on somehow. I think tomorrow it's on Peacock, so we're gonna figure that out. How we're gonna listen. The NBA is very different than it was last year. So at least where
You
you
got to
have to
have
watch the game, you gotta have
7 streaming services to watch.
at least seven. So it's gonna be interesting, but we will let everyone know if there's like a good way to watch the game or hear the game. I know when Lakers play, I can listen to the ESPN LA radio app, which is really helpful, and uh, they talk. They do more than the commentators. Commentators just kind of say, "Oh, this guy shot it, he missed," and then they'll talk about something else. But the radio guys really go, "He passed the ball here, he dribbled to the right, and he goes to the left, and he goes over the layup, oh, he missed it." So it's a bit more detailed, which is pretty nice. But I don't think they do national. It's only LA game. So that's convenient because tomorrow the Lakers are also playing. Warriors playing in Los Angeles. No LeBron for the season opener with the sciatica in his right leg. Yo, but we have Luca, so I'm not. I honestly think it could be anyone's game. The Warriors are a well-oiled machine at this point, and I think they might get the win. Lakers never really come out of the gate looking amazing. Also, I heard a rumor the starting lineup is going to be, you guessed it, Luka Doncic, Austin Reeves, Marcus Smart, Rui
hmm
Hachimura, and DeAndre Ayton. Cool, said no one. I don't really understand why that he would be in the starting lineup. But again, I want to be proven wrong. Prove me wrong.
Who would you rather start, like Jared Vanderbilt or something like that?
Yeah, just someone who's been on the team a little bit, and I think has played already with Luca, someone I just trust a bit more. But I mean, Marcus Smart will have to play. Gabe Vincent, actually, I don't really hate. that bad that much. So, but obviously he'll be a backup point guard for Luca. So we will see what happens. Our depth isn't something I'm really stoked on or was, and especially since LeBron is out. But I'm excited to see Luca just with the keys. Like, hey, this is our team. Make us win. So I'm excited to see some Luka Magic tomorrow, and obviously see how the Warriors look with Al Horford now there on the team, and if Jonathan Kuminga plays, how many minutes he plays, that's still going on, all that kind of stuff. So,
I was
and
gonna
it's
say
all,
that's a positive for you. A lot of those guys just showed up with that team basically. So
yeah. So you got Steph, you got Draymond, Jimmy Butler, all that, but outside of
excited for
that,
dominating versus Al Horford, baby. Let's go.
that's gonna be. Hey, that's primetime television. That's why it's the season opener, man. But yeah, I'm so stoked. I can't wait to watch and then talk about it and everything. But that is it for tomorrow, tip off, and then more games continue on the other days. Um, yeah, it's just gonna start rolling. I can't wait till I look at the schedule and there's 8 games to choose from to watch that day. It's gonna be
Hornets
fun.
Wizards.
Hmm.
Not today.
Well, those are the more fun ones because you're like anyone could win this. It's gonna be 160 162, but who could win, the Hornets or the Wizards? You never know.
For sure.
And yeah, but I think it's time. I think it's time we transition.
It's time for the 2025-2026 NBA award show by Damon and Dom. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Um, yeah. So this is how I did this. This is how we usually do this. We pick a top three for each award: MVP, Rookie of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, Most Improved Player, Sixth Player of the Year, formerly known as Sixth Man of the Year. Clutch Player of the Year and Coach of the Year is kind of how we do that. And for me particularly, I typically go the route picking the first two that I think are most likely, and then my third is kind of usually an underdog, just because I think that's more interesting than like these are the top three guys. And I did pull up some odds for those players, and when you give me your players, I can give you odds too. We are again, said this last time for the record predictions, not a gambling podcast, but I think it's worth looking at kind of odds and stuff when you look at this. How close are they when they predict things like this? If we go back and look at the end of the season, um, I think it's worth noting. And I also did a little bit of research into how odds work. So let me explain that real quick. Did I explain it last time?
I don't know if you did because I don't know how they work.
Yeah. So if you look at odds for sports betting and probably other things too, the favorite, if there's a heavy favorite, typically has a minus symbol and a number next to it. For example, there's an award on here that I'll give later where this player has minus 225 as the kind of odds on favorite. What that means is you have to bet $225 to make a $100 profit because they are the odds on favorite. However, if it is the other way, it is a plus number. Some of these awards have no minus. Because they don't know. They don't have a clear favorite. They have a couple of guys that may be up there, and then they have some underdogs. For example, there is an award I will give later where this player has plus 900 as the odds. What that means is if you bet $100, you will profit $900 if that does happen. So if it's plus something, that's how much you win betting $100. If it's minus something, that's how much you have to bet to win $100. Confusing. Don't know why they do it like that, but that's how it works.
It's making sense to me, honestly, as someone who I have placed bets when I was in Vegas, most famously for that Game 7 Mavericks Suns where they demolished them, which is one of my proudest moments. The odds were like minus. I put down a $20 bet and I got $75, so it must have been plus plus something. It was they were not the favorite to win. And I could do the math right now, but I'm not. But thank you for explaining that because I've never really understood that. And they always try to explain it to me and for whatever reason, I'm just saying I
Let
understand.
the
Oh.
teacher handle it, you know. Let the educator educate.
Yeah, let them do what they know what to do best. But thank you for explaining. I'm excited to hear who those players are that you're talking about. And you kind of stated how you were looking at awards. So what I did a little bit differently. I just thought about first. I looked at the awards and I thought who I thought would win this next year. I have a few more than like three for some of them, but I will kind of whittle it down the more I think about it. And I looked at some rosters just to refresh my brain about some things. But the more I think about it, I think I got my three down. But did you notice anything last year from your awards that you found kind of funny? Because I found something I thought was kind of funny.
Yeah, and I will mention also, I said this last time with record predictions. I pulled up the odds after I looked at the awards. I did not use the odds to determine my awards, 'cause that would kind of null it, I think.
Of
Something
course.
interesting from last year. Let me take a gander.
Well,
Oh,
I
how
can.
about, yeah, go
You
ahead.
go.
No, go
You
ahead.
go.
Okay, I'll
Well,
go.
yes, please.
Maybe the worst bet I made last year, Jonathan Kuminga winning Most Improved Player. Because we know
Ah.
how tumultuous it has been over there for him in Golden State. So that's a tough
Hey,
one to look back
yeah,
on.
yeah, that's not on you though. I mean, it was not like he just fell out of the league. He's still a very good player, and but I understand the situation isn't exactly what we predicted, nor could anyone, I think. The one I'm looking at, honestly, I'm really surprised by how on point I feel like a lot of these are for me, which I'm surprised by. Usually I'm really off with some, but the one that I found kind of hilarious was for Coach of the Year. I
Hmm.
put Taylor Jenkins.
Oh, he
Got
got
fired
fired.
3 games before the end of the season. So I thought that was kind of funny that I had that
That's pretty good.
as my award. I had him like second. I don't even know why. But that
Yeah,
was
that's
kind of
funny.
funny. But yeah, I'm very excited for 2025, 2026. I like to skip around. If you want to go in a certain order, I'm also very happy with that. I leave the decision up to you because I want you to go first.
Oh, why do
We
you have to make me go first?
Also, are we snaking or how do you want to do it? I
It's a
know I
great
got a little
question.
lost in the sauce last time.
Um, I feel like, yeah, I feel like we should just do. Here's what Jared and I did. We did like our top two, and
hmm
then we both did like the underdog narrative third one, which I know yours might not exactly look like that.
Yeah, I don't really have one like that because I have some like that are like two dark horses. I feel like not really like
Mm,
favorites. So I can try to I can pick who my two favorite are and then have a you know what? They're not a favorite of mine, but I could see them winning it. I can kind of do that.
or we could
We'll
just
s-
do winners each and then do the rest,
let's try
or
let's try what you suggested. I am open to trying
okay.
new things. But how do you, yeah, what order? How do you want to do it?
Yeah, this is how I always try to force these things on both shows. It's by starting with the ones that I think I start reverse importance kind of.
Okay,
Um,
totally fine.
but I don't even know if that's necessarily true for the way I wrote them here. But let's start with the only non-player award, Coach of the Year.
Okay, sounds
Um,
good.
I have as my winner for Coach of the Year, and I was thinking about, why, and it's because last year the top two people were both first year head coaches with a new team, and both of those teams did really well, and the coaches got a lot of love for it, and of course Kenny Atkinson ended up being the winner over there in Cleveland. JB Bickerstaff's the other one I'm referencing right behind him for Detroit. So for my number one winner, I put Mike Brown. New York Knicks Coach of the Year. Obviously, I think the Knicks will be a very talented team and a very high seed in the East. But if the way they kind of play and the way they kind of win is a little different, like the strategy itself looks a little different, I feel like Mike Brown will get a lot of praise for it. New York being a big market will help. So I feel like that's a good bet for me, and that's why I picked him. And then second, I had who Mike Brown, by the way, plus 1,000. Second, I picked who is tied for the odds-on favorite, Quinn Snyder, Atlanta Hawks. I think the Hawks are going to take a big jump this year. I think, the offseason acquisitions really help, obviously, but I do think Quinn Snyder will get some love as well because I think the way they have to run their offense with their new pieces is going to be a little different than how it has been in years past. And I feel like he will get some love for that. So that's my one and two, Mike Brown, Quinn Snyder. What do you got for me?
Nice. Two coaches I seriously considered, but I went a little bit of a different direction. I like what you said a lot about Mike Brown. And that was one reason why I thought about it. But I think my favorite for Coach of the Year is Ime Udoka. Because last year the Rockets were sneaky good. No one expected them to be the second seed. This year expectations are high. Kevin Durant is there, and the Rockets are going to deliver. I feel like if they end up top three in the West, which I think is a reality, then everyone this season's going to pay attention to the Rockets. I feel like the last few years they've kind of been like on the fringe a little bit of like playoff talk and NBA talk, all this stuff. They never last year, can you imagine them playing on opening night? Can you imagine that?
No, I sure could not. That's for sure.
Yeah, so this year I feel like is a really good opportunity for the Rockets to show the league what they're made of. And I feel like Ime Udoka is a huge part of that. I'm sure you agree. And even though he's been there for a bit, just the way he's cultivated that culture and that tenacity in the team, I think is going to translate. And I think he's, uh, for me, the favorite. I don't know what his odds are, but I like him for Coach of the Year.
I can tell you his odds are plus 900. It is right behind Quinn Snyder, the other coach who is tied for um, the most plus 600. I'll tell you if you don't mention him, and then Ime Udoka right there at third. So
All right. Okay. So I'm not crazy. The other coach I have that I think would also, I think kind of similarly as Ime Udoka, but not as large of a scale, is Jamal Mosley for the Orlando Magic. Because with Desmond Bane being there, their offense is going to be a lot better. Everyone's healthy. They can easily be definitely top five team in the East, could be even top three. And I just feel like people will pay attention to the Orlando Magic this year. Even last year, I don't think they were a favorite to be. I think we had them in the play-in or like right above the play-in. So this year, everyone's watching. So I feel like this is a good opportunity for him to show what he's been able to do with the Magic. So that's why I have him second.
yeah, and that is the other odds-on favorite, Jamal Mosley plus 600. So you are right
I don't need
there
no
with
odds.
the betters. Yeah, you are right there with them. Um, Yeah, I think you make some great points. I think the fear for me, one is kind of what you mentioned for the Lakers, the fear of homerism. I don't want to choose too many too many home picks. Is kind of why I didn't go with Udoka. But I also think that like Kevin Durant will get a lot of the credit for the Rockets' success this year. And I feel like if Ime was going to win Coach of the Year, it would have been last season when we kind of subverted expectations and flew up in the standings.
Yeah.
Um, but I do think obviously it will be a very good team. So I would not be that surprised. And then yeah, Jamal Mosley I did consider as well. I was kind of in between him and Quinn Snyder for my number two spot, and they happen to both be the favorite for the award. But two teams in the East that I think are going to fly up the standings and have really solid seasons.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of we kind of I see it because I thought the same thing. It was between Quinn Snyder and Jamal Mosley, but I thought I'll go this way. So very
Well,
cool. Do
we're covering our bases over here.
we sure are. Do I do now my kind of underdog, or you want to do your underdog?
I'll do my underdog first, and the reason I chose this player is because, or this coach, is because I think that expectations for this team have lowered, with good reason. And I think that if this coach manages to keep this team afloat, maybe even sneak into the top six, I believe we both had them as a play-in team, that he'll get a lot of credit for that. And that is Rick Carlisle, for the Pacers. I feel like coming off their finals run, people are really expecting this team to kind of fall down the standings and expecting the Magic, the Hawks, the teams we just mentioned to rise, the Pistons even. And if they can manage to be like a 6 seed, a 5 seed, or something like that, a little above our expectations, and they can still play really well without Halliburton, without Miles Turner, I feel like he will get a lot of credit for that.
That's hilarious because I thought you were going to say a different team because I picked a different team for the exact same reasons. And that coach is Jason Kidd.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
Because Kyrie is out. So I thought,
Yeah.
hey, Kyrie is out. Expectations have lowered. Last year they made it in the play-in, barely lost in the first game. AD is back. They have Cooper Flag. People are watching the Mavericks. They don't expect that they're going to be like an amazing team. I think we also had them in the play-in. But if Jason Kidd's able to show off that he can coach the heck out of this team and get them in like top six, top five in the West, I think he's in talks for Coach of the Year. But it's funny because I also was considering between him and Rick Carlisle for the exact same reasons because Hallie's out. So I find that pretty funny. But I'm excited to
Yeah.
see how it goes.
Yeah, I think I had the Mavs and the Pacers at 7. So that's
Nice.
right there. Yeah. And Carlisle, by the way, plus 2,200, so lower on the odds. Jason Kidd plus 3,300. So way back there on the Coach of the Year odds. But that's why they're our third pick and then our first pick. But it would still be a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. So
When you were
which
describing it, I thought you were about to say Joe Mazzulla.
Oh,
And
yeah,
then-
Celtics. I don't think so. No, I didn't. There have been. I didn't want to choose teams that have had too much like fervor around them for like the last couple years. And like Celtics are always talk. I feel like people are kind of tired of the whole narrative and writing them off. And I maybe I just don't. I like Joe Mazzulla. Maybe I don't trust his coaching enough to think he'll be coach of the year. I don't know. I didn't really even think of him honestly, but I think
Fair.
he's a good coach. I just don't know. I don't know if I trust the team.
Yeah.
So, which
You,
award?
it is your turn.
Yeah, which one do you want me to take? Because you want to give me the order.
Oh, well, we can do clutch player of the year. I don't care about this award at all.
Cool. All right, clutch player of the year. So let me look at my options. Okay, so we're gonna do two favorites, then one kind of underdog, like maybe
Sure.
one you wouldn't expect. So I have a couple. I don't really have a. I wouldn't say I have an underdog in any of these, but
Yeah.
I will say I will. I'll first go with Anthony Edwards because I was thinking about players that you want with the ball in the hand, and Timberwolves definitely going to have a spotlight on them because they just keep losing players, and somehow they keep making it to the Western Conference Finals. Anthony Edwards, one of the new faces of the league. People love watching him. I am one of those included, and it seems like when there is couple seconds left and you're down. Timberwolves that trust Anthony Edwards. He's been working on his game all season. I think his numbers will reflect that he is one to trust in those late game possessions. So he's my first favorite, I will say. And then my other
My pick
favorite.
last year, by the way.
Oh, nice.
Also worth mentioning that Jason Kidd was my pick for coach of the year last year.
Oh, I did not know.
And
That's funny.
and I wanted to mention, I forgot to mention
Yeah.
the coaches of the year. I had Jason Kidd number 1. I had Nick Nurse number 2. Yikes. And then I had Missoula number 3. So
Uh,
not the best coach of the year pick for me last year.
It's okay. Every year I always put Eric Spoelstra, and I did again this year, and I was like, I'm not going to mention him this time. I mean, he's a great coach. It's just funny he's never won it. That's literally why I put him. So
Oh,
back to clutch player of the year. So Anthony Edwards won, and then I would say as another favorite, I will say Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. I mean, how many times did you see him have the ball at the end of the game and just know what he's doing, get to his spot, turn around, sink it beautifully? Just I couldn't have written it any better. And obviously the Thunder are the favorites to win again. And I feel like the only reason why he might not win is because you need to be in for clutch time to count. You have to be kind of in close games, and the Thunder
right.
aren't in a lot of close games. But I remember, I feel like this year they will come down a little bit. We talked about that in last episode, or at least for my reasoning for not having them number one. So that might be a reason why he doesn't get it, but it's hard to deny that he's one of the players I would love the ball in his hand at the end of the game. So those are my, I guess, two favorites out of the ones that I
For
picked
sure.
out.
Shea, my number 2 last year. So you had my 1 and 2 from last year as your 1 and 2 this year. And I don't blame you because I had him last year for a reason. I have two different names for you though. As my number one spot, I had Mr. Oh, actually, hold on. Let me give you your odds here because I do think
Thank
it's just
you.
worth noting. Anthony Edwards plus 1100. That is fourth in the odds.
Oh, that's
Uh,
high. Dang.
it- and then Shea Gilgeous-Alexander plus 3300. He's actually quite down in the odds.
Oh,
It's right on
plus,
the
not minus. Sorry, sorry. I was thinking minus is like when it's like
minus 1100.
oh,
Like, he's
yeah, I
so
was like, oh,
dangerous.
so he's locked in. Like there's not
Yeah.
so sorry, sorry. I even confused myself there. Okay,
No,
so
you're good.
they're not, super, super high, but
Yeah.
but it's all good.
Um, My number one player I have is Kevin Durant of the Rockets. I was just talking about how I didn't want to do homerism, but I think that the Rockets' big, issue last season was half court offense and scoring in the half court, and that's obviously very, very important when it comes to clutch time. And I think, Kevin Durant, people often say the best scorer of this generation, maybe of all time. The guy can just score whenever he wants, and I think when we get into close game situations, he is going to be the player that has the ball down the stretch. And I can't imagine why he wouldn't score most of the time because that's what he does. And my number two spot was Jalen Brunson, who I may have had for this award last year too. I don't. No, I didn't. I had never mind. My number three last year was Dame. I just looked at it. But Jalen Brunson, I think this year had so many clutch moments for the Knicks. Or did I say this year? I meant last year. And I think that will be the case this year as well. When they get into those close game situations, he'll be the guy that has the ball. And he is a shooter more than a playmaker. And I think he'll shoot a lot. And I think he'll make a lot. And then he'll do his silly little across the face three celebration that I don't really like that much. But he will win. And I think again the Knicks will have a lot of attention on them this year. Both of those guys plus 900 tied for odds on favorites. So worked out that way.
Got it. I considered Brunson, but I thought it would be because he won last year, so I thought it would be just too easy. So I decided to
Fair.
challenge myself. And so for my dark horse, for my underdog, I picked Tyrese Maxey. I feel like the Sixers will have a lot of clutch time games because they are the 76ers. Who knows if he's even going to be healthy enough? I really hope so. I just think about the times when he was in the playoffs and he was able to will the 76, not last year, but the year before, just will the 76ers into a six-game series against the Knicks. So I have a lot of faith in Tyrese Maxey's ability. I think this is a bounce back year because last year he didn't get to play a lot with the injuries, but I think this is the year he shows them, if no one already accepted it, that the 76ers are his team. And especially
Mm.
toward the end of the game, they trust him with the ball. So Maxey is my pick.
Yeah, that is a very dark horse pick. Tyrese Maxey's team. Ooh. He is on the odds. He's actually plus 2500, so he is more favored than Shea, which I think is a little
Hmm.
surprising.
Wow.
So, good pick by you though. I like that, especially if, Embiid, Paul George, whatever their health situation is, he's going to be the guy there.
Yeah.
And um, yeah, yeah, yeah. My dark horse is not that much of a dark horse, but I just thought it was a player that in the playoffs we think of as this kind of big time player, but it doesn't really happen in the regular season. I feel like he kind of gets overlooked because the rest of the team is really good. But I think in terms of, clutch time offense, this is the player that, you want the ball to have in your hands. And that player is Donovan Mitchell and my other position because he's just going to be the guy that has the ball down the stretch and makes those plays for them. And I feel like I said, he always does it in the playoffs, but we never really appreciate it throughout the regular season. Maybe this time it's a little different because, Jared Allen, Evan Mobley, Darius Garland, there's all kind of question marks revolving around that aspect of the game for them, but I don't think that's the case for Donovan Mitchell, who is at plus 2,000. So not as favored as the other two I mentioned, but obviously, still a great offensive player. That I guess the worry is like last year they started off so hot that they weren't in a lot of close games, so there wasn't a lot of clutch time. But I don't think that'll be the case this time around.
Yeah, I think that's a great pick. I think the same reason why like Shea isn't crazy to be out of the running because both those teams were just so hot last year that this year it's gonna cool down a little bit. You'd expect. So But that's a great pick. Donovan Mitchell is the guy I definitely trust with the ball at the end of the game.
Thank you.
Of course. So, which award do you care about least next?
I'll go with the sixth player of the year here. Um,
Interesting. Okay.
yeah, it was between that and most improved. Those are like both whatever awards. But I think most improved, the narrative aspect of it makes it a little more interesting. Sixth player of the year was not interesting when I was like thinking about it. Here are the names I have. I have, of course, at number one, Mr. Six Man himself, Naz Reid. He's just gonna be the guy coming off the bench for the Wolves. He's gonna score, and I think they're gonna need him a little bit more than they did last year. Now that they had a couple of people leave their team, and he's just so important to like the way they operate. I think this award really stumped me for a long time because I feel like so many players are kind of injured to start the season that starting lineups are kind of wonky and we don't know who's going to come off the bench. If I'm not mistaken, for this award, it is more than half of your games have to be off the bench. So it's not like that automatically disqualifies them. It's just tough when you don't know who's going to start to vote as kind of sixth player of the year. By the way, last year I had Malik Monk at one, Nas at two, and then my dark horse was Russell Westbrook. That in the playoffs maybe, but not in the regular season.
hmm
And yeah, and then the other guy I had at number two that I thought was like a pretty obvious pick that came to mind is that case I was just talking about, where he's going to start for this team when the season starts next week, or not next week, later this week. And as the season goes on, he'll transition back to the bench. That is DeAndre Hunter on the Cavaliers because Max Strus is going to be out for the start of the season. He'll be their three, and then I think that will kind of bring his stats up pretty high. And then once Max Strus comes back, he'll revert to that kind of bench scoring role, which he filled in pretty well for the Cavs last year. So I think if he can continue that, he'll get a big look for this. Both of these players plus 1100, and they are. Uh, oh, I was looking at an entirely different website. They are apparently both the odds-on favorites. So great.
Got it. Yeah, great picks. I didn't pick out any of those guys. So, good start there. I would say my favorite, just because he showed off a lot in the playoffs, and I think he's always been such a spark off the bench for this team, but now especially because Tyrese Halliburton is out, the spotlight might be on him a little bit more, especially because of the playoff success that he had last year. TJ McConnell. I feel like he's just been
Mm.
on this Pacers team for forever and has been playing incredibly well whenever he comes off the bench. And, I think he's great. I mean, especially backing up Andrew Nimhart, who I have a lot of faith in. Just might need that experience running the offense coming off the bench. So could be a
That's a
dark.
great pick.
Thanks, man. Could be could be an underdog. I don't know the odds. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But I would say next, second favorite, I think also is one of those guys that showed off just how important he is to this team in the playoffs, and I think will during the season. Josh Hart for the New York Knicks. He is just to me. You said Mr. Six Man of the Year. I was like, oh, Josh Hart. You said Naz Reid. I was like, I love Naz Reid. So I would have got a Naz Reid tattoo if they were having it here for during the playoffs. But yeah, Josh Hart just so dependable and comes off the bench and always hustles so much, and just that guy that you can always depend on to rebound. Not really score, but at least just get the offense flowing in a good way, getting the ball to someone who needs the ball, getting the rebound, and then just making the right decision. So I think a Josh Hart as a player of the year is super important. And I feel like the Knicks, they are one of the biggest markets. So it's just going to show off even more.
Yeah, the website I'm looking at doesn't have TJ McConnell, which I think is kind of a crime. Uh,
Yeah,
so he must be a super underdog, and then Josh Hart does show up here at plus 2000. So
cool.
that makes sense to me, especially because my dark horse was Josh Hart
Hey,
of the New York Knicks. Yeah, I think.
our first, same one. Nice.
Yeah, not a lot of overlap, which I think is fine because then we talk about more players. Um, I worry about like a little bit of conflicting narrative with Jordan Clarkson now being there, who has won this award before. But I do think that Josh Hart being like such a Nick and embedded in kind of Nick culture and so like loved over the years will kind of give him the edge in that regard. So I do think that that'll work out in his favor. And yeah, I think like as long as Mitchell Robinson starts and Cat is the power forward. OG Mikhail Brunson. That leaves Hart coming off the bench. So as long as that center lineup stays healthy, I think he will play enough off the bench and contribute enough, even if it's not necessarily in the box score, to have a shot at this award. And I also think he's kind of an underdog because he's not like coming off the bench and giving you 20 points. And I feel like that's what they like to do with sixth player of the year. But I do think he obviously contributes to the game in meaningful and impactful ways.
Absolutely. And my underdog, who might not even be listed either, but I think about it, is always in conversation somehow, is Bobby Portis for the Bucks.
Oh, okay.
Because they are going to need him and his scoring, that's for sure. I mean, I trust Giannis. Miles Turner's looking good in the Bucks uniform. Everyone else, I don't trust. I really don't. And Bobby Portis has been there for years. I mean, crazy eyes himself. So the crowd loves him. He does a really great, he's a great spark coming off the bench as well. I just feel like he's one of those guys, every time he comes in, I think he's a walking bucket. He's going to get you at least 12, 14. Hopefully get some rebounds in there. And especially the Bucks are good. He could be the one.
Yeah, I don't see him listed here at the thing I'm looking at, but I do think that you're very right. The you know roster around Giannis is pretty thin, so they need all the help they can get, and I think Bobby Portis will be that. So don't mind that pick one bit.
Absolutely. So now I start, and I I'm gonna pick an award I really don't care about, that I don't think you'll agree with, but I really don't. It's not up there for me. Rookie of the year.
That's fair. That's
So
fair. I think this year particularly, yeah.
yeah, most improved player I think is a really interesting award, and not so much rookie of the year.
I think I
So
I didn't even write them in importance. I think I just wrote them in like where they appear on like the award thing when you look at it.
yeah, I feel like we'll probably have very similar ones. It's not a deep pool to choose from. My underdog might be a little out of left field, but probably not. My favorite is, of course, Cooper Flag for the Dallas Mavericks. He's going to be in the starting lineup. He's playing. He's in a team that wants to contend. He'll get a lot of minutes. He's shown a lot of promise so far in preseason, and I think he's just going to play the heck out of the season and do a good job of it and show people that he was deserving to go number one overall. And I'm excited to see it. And I wish it was a little bit more more of a question mark, but I really just think he's going to be a solid player. Obviously, we ranked him like A tier. So obviously,
I think it was like B tier, but yes.
pretty sure it was A, dude.
Don't tell me that.
I'm pretty sure I don't know if you want to look at the receipts, but I'm pretty sure it's A tier, dude.
Ugh, I'll look at it right now. Pull up the
You
old
don't have
folder.
to. I can do it while you. I'll talk about my other one. But so Cooper Flag, number one, number two might be a little bit not like as obvious because he wasn't the second overall pick, but I have Ace Bailey because the Utah Jazz are going to be playing him in the starting lineup, and he looked good in preseason as well. They will make some changes throughout the year. Markkanen won't end up staying on the Jazz team, and I feel like Ace Bailey will be there. I hope this whole narrative around him, not trying out for teams and then him being drafted, I hope he just puts it to bed and it's like, I'm just going to hoop. I'm going to play really well. I'm going to try to contend for Rookie of the Year because I deserve it. The only thing he has going against him is the Jazz. They're not really contending for anything, but the thing is, I feel like the Spurs weren't last year and Stephon Castle won. He also stayed healthy. So sometimes I feel like Rookie of the Year goes to the healthiest player at the end of the year, and also
Yeah,
played pretty
healthiest and most
consistent.
opportunity for sure.
Yeah, so Ace Bailey is my number two.
Yeah, while we're talking about small forwards, Cooper Flag and Ace Bailey both made an appearance on our small forward tier list. How about this? Aaron Nesmith has agreed to a 2-year, $40 million contract extension with the Pacers on top of his current contract that's going to put him through the 2028-2029 season. So, two more $20 million years for Nesmith. I'm cool with that.
Love that. Love Aaron Easton. I think he's great on the
Breaking news
Pacers.
on the pod. Um,
Breaking news!
yeah, you gotta check. I check every now and then. I'll check, every 30 minutes or so. I'm like, let me just make sure before we log off here,
That's
that
so
nothing has
smart.
occurred.
So smart.
Yeah, I like your rookie of the year picks. Last year, by the way, I had Zach Edey at number one, Alex Sarr number two, Montas number three, and none of those people won. So I'm an idiot. Don't listen to me. This year, I have Cooper Flag at number one, who is the same player that you had. By the way, we had Cooper Flag at the top of B tier when I was checking
I
that
was just about
list.
to check. Okay, so I got a little confused. I still think that's really high for a rookie.
It's pretty high. He was above like DeRozan and Wiggins and like some other people. I was like, oh my God.
I mean,
Um,
we're excited. What can we say? We're excited for
we are
some
excited.
rookies.
And yeah, he's going to obviously start for this team. He's going to play a lot. He's going to be really important. He might be the main ball handler in their offense very early with the absence of Kyrie. If this lineup they've been running in the preseason, where he's kind of the point guard and they run Clay, PJ, AD, Lively, that giant lineup, he's going to have the ball in his hands a lot. So I think that makes sense. Our first negative odds appearance, minus 225. So he is the clear favorite for this award, who I had second, same as you, Ace Bailey, because I think he's going to get a lot of run on this Jazz team. I think he's going to get thrown out there. He's going to play a lot of minutes. He's going to score, probably be relatively inefficient. That's what you do as a rookie. Like you said, it is not. This is not the award that goes to a player on necessarily the best team. Usually, it's the opposite because highly touted rookies are drafted to worse teams typically. So, win total doesn't really play a big part in this. His odds, by the way, plus 3,300. He has a couple of guys ahead of him. If you don't mention them for your sleeper, I will throw them out after I talk about mine.
Yeah, please do, because I'm so curious. I feel like he'd be a lot higher. My sleeper is, I don't think really a sleeper, VJ Edgecombe, because he
Okay.
is on the 76ers and they're injured all the time usually. And I feel like he'll get a lot of play on this team. And I just picked him as well because I don't really trust that the other rookies will get a lot of run. I considered one other one, but decided against it because I feel like there's more of a spotlight on the Sixers, and especially if I think I'm a bit more optimistic on the Sixers than probably I should be. But I feel like VJ Edgecombe will show that he's a talented rookie and will can play alongside Tyrese Maxey. So that's why I put him as my as long as he stays healthy and the other two don't, I mean he could win for all we know. So that's why I have him as the underdog.
Yeah, that's very fair. And he is above Ace Bailey's plus 1,000, tied for second for this award. And I had him on my list and I took him off for a pick that was way more insane. Um, so yeah, and it was for the same reasons you said. The Sixers potentially be injured. I think he's talented. I just, if they are healthy, how much opportunity will he get is kind of the big question mark for me. My sleeper had plus 10,000. My first of three plus 10,000s. I have three of these players on here apparently that I'm super sleeping on. Excuse me. Um, and not a good team. But Yegor Dioman on the Brooklyn Nets because he's gonna basically be the starting point guard, and that's a really important role on a basketball team. So if he is facilitating that team to look kind of competent, I feel like he'll get a lot of credit for that. I don't think he's gonna be this great scorer, which kind of puts a damper on his case. But if he could set up guys like Cam Thomas, Michael Porter Jr., obviously a great shooter, people like that over there, and make their offense not like 25th or worse. Good job. um, do I think that's going to happen? Not necessarily, but I think he will be one of the rookies that do get a lot of playing time.
That's a great pick. I did not consider the Nets at all, probably for any of these awards. I will say the player I thought about but decided to do VJ instead was Jeremiah Fears, who I thought you were gonna say because I know you like his style of play and everything. But with the Pelicans,
Who knows with that team?
yeah, so I thought it was
Um,
a bit more of a sure bet with VJ.
yeah, the other guy that was tied for second, Trey Johnson on the Wizards, number six pick out of UT. Dylan Harper
Okay.
is at plus 1,300, right behind them. I just don't know how much play he'll get the
That's
Spurs
why I
early on.
didn't. Yeah.
Yeah, I stayed away from that for sure. Um, yeah. So those are the guys we have. Great. What's
Nice.
next? What do you want to do?
Well, I think you said most improved player, right?
Yeah, let's
I think
do
that
most
makes sense.
improved. Let's
Let's
do
do it.
it. Famously, I had Jonathan Kuminga as number one last year. I had Josh Giddey as number two last year, which I don't feel that bad about. And then I had Scoot as number three, which I do feel bad about. So, you know, we'll see. We'll see
I'm
how this
curious.
year looks.
I need to have them both up side by side because I haven't been talking about my last year's. Um, okay, my last year's
Yeah,
pretty good. I actually have some of the same people that I picked last year. This is interesting. So I'll talk about
fair.
that next time. Please tell me who is your most improved player?
I think when we thought about award predictions, this is the one that came to my mind first. Like this
Okay.
player for this award is what kind of just shit sparked in my brain, and that is Andrew Nimhard of the Pacers. Reasons being, he will be taking over the primary ball handling duties. You mentioned that earlier when you were talking about TJ McConnell for your sixth player of the year. And we've already seen two very solid years from him, back-to-back playoff years. And they like to give this award to people that are already good, but just like are a little better, or even I don't even know if it's great sometimes. Like I think of Ja winning this award after like being a really good rookie and a good second year player. They're like, yeah, most improved. And I feel like Andrew Nimhard kind of falls into that mold where we've seen a lot of good stuff in the playoffs, and maybe now that he's going to have the ball in his hands a lot, and if he can take kind of a playmaking jump, still score at a good level, still defend at a good level, then he will be rewarded in kind. Or number two, Homer pick Amin Thompson for a similar reason, because he is now going to be the point guard of the Rockets because Fred VanVleet is out, so that's going to give him a lot more responsibility with the ball in his hands. I think that is going to kind of open his game up a little bit. Last year, I do think he benefited from a lot of cutting, a lot of slashing, a lot of kind of hustling to the ball on misses and things like that, which he still can do, but will probably be the one bringing the ball up the floor, maybe KD, maybe Şengün if we're feeling really risky, and kind of setting up the half court offense. And then I think he'll get a ton of look in transition this year too. So I had him there. Plus 1,500 for Nimhard, plus 1,000 for Amin Thompson. So he is actually pretty high. He's actually tied for the favorite for this award.
All right, great picks. Honestly, I considered putting Andrew Nimhart because I thought about him while we were potting just now. So I thought I would remove him or add him, but I have three different players. I'm just gonna go with that. Might as well. But
Fair.
first is someone you did mention. I did have Amin Thompson first. I thought this was the perfect year for him to make that jump. He's already getting a lot of buzz. He's going to be playing more than last year. It's just, I think he's to me, as long as he stays healthy, I think it's going to be pretty easy. Number two, these next two guys, I don't really know how to pick a favorite or a sleeper really, because I feel like they're very similar, but I will go with this. I will say I think my second favorite, I will say is Desmond Bain for the Orlando Magic. New location, he's going to be really running the offense a bit more. He's already a really great player, but I feel like now I know Paolo is there, but I feel like with him he's always going to have the right decision to play. He's gonna gonna be able to shoot the ball. He's gonna be able to space the floor. I just think the expectation is so high there now too that the Magic are really good. Hey, Desmond Bain, he was probably a part of that. So he could probably have the same numbers like he did like last year's, maybe a little bit better, and he could be in talks. I at least envision a world where that is possible. But that's why I put him on this list.
Yeah, very fair. I do not see him on the odds, but I do think he can have a pretty good season for the Magic. So don't hate that pick. For my sleeper pick, I have starting this year, coming off a pretty good Eurobasket appearance, Nikola Jovic of the Miami Heat. I just think he hasn't had a ton of playing time in his NBA career so far, and I think this year he will get a lot of that playing time. Without Jimmy Butler, Jaime Jaquez is kind of a question mark right now for them. They did draft Kaspadas. We'll see how much he plays early on. But I think Jovic is going to get a lot of opportunity for this team, and a lot of opportunity leads to more stats, which leads to this award typically. And he is down at plus 3,300.
Great pick. I didn't even think about the Heat for a lot of these awards. I gotta say, my sleeper is not really a sleeper. Like I said, I'm sure he's on this list. I have Jalen Johnson. Desmond Bain and Jalen Johnson were two I picked last year as well. Jalen Johnson probably would have had it last year if he didn't get injured. So I feel like this is him hopefully staying healthy and showing, hey, look, I really am still this good and can play. So that's why I have Jalen Johnson. I am very high on the Hawks, as we already discussed, and he is going to play a very important role with them and just show off what he's able to do as long as he stays healthy. So maybe that's why I put him as my sleeper because he might not make it, but I hope
Sure.
so.
He is on here plus 4,000, so he's pretty low. But yeah, I feel like it is tough with the almost winning it last year, then missing the amount of games played.
Yeah,
It'll be interesting to see how they decide to do that this year. But I could definitely see even another leap from him, and I hope that he does stay healthy.
absolutely. So let's talk about DPOY,
We shall.
Defensive Player of the Year. So I feel like there will be some overlap for
Yeah.
this one. This one doesn't seem like too crazy, but it's still a fun award to talk about. My favorite for the award is, I think, the favorite for a lot of people. It's Victor Wembanyama. Please stay healthy, Wemby. I want to see a whole season of you on the Spurs. I think it's going to be incredible. And I mean, 7'4", 7'5", I think they're listing him now as. Is just
Yeah, he grew apparently.
he grew an inch, which is insane. And now, we watched last year and the year before. I thought it was hilarious watching these practices before they play the Spurs, and they have these guys with giant poles to mimic someone who is like
Yeah.
9 feet tall, essentially. And that is how much you have to respect the defensive potential of Victor Wembanyama. As long as he's able to stay healthy and play at least 65 games, I feel like he's a lock for this award, which is crazy to say. Evan Mobley is also incredible. Won DPOY last year. He's not really on my radar because I'm like, it's Wemby. Come on, look at this guy.
Right.
But still got to think of people who might not be healthy enough. But yeah, I have Wemby number one. Number two, I think I also had him number two as well last year because of the same reason. But again, I put Giannis Antetokounmpo because again, no one's around him. Who's going to be defending people? KPJ, AJ Green. Giannis, I trust a little bit more than those guys on defense. Miles Turner helps a lot. I think he's an upgrade from Brook Lopez. His ability to kind of protect the paint is a little bit better. He's younger, but I feel like Giannis is going to have to do a lot of like cleanup work, and he'll be able to show off what he's able to do. And I mean, he's still in his prime. He's an incredible basketball player. I feel like he's always in talks for DPOY, so I feel like Giannis is there for me.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. I do think he will be responsible for that team's defense pretty much all by himself. So if they have a good defense, he'll be the guy responsible for that. Um, this one was interesting. I had two favorites that were like pretty easy for me, and then I had a couple of guys I switched between for the dark horse and landed on kind of a weird place. But Wemby, the favorite, for a reason. Minus 175, also my number one pick. Averaged 4 blocks last year before going out with an injury. So gotta be tough to beat as long as, like you said, he could hit the 65 game threshold. We will be all dandy. You said Giannis, his odds for this are plus 6,600. So pretty low on the DPOY totem pole.
That's crazy.
Who I have second because I think the team defense will be very good, and I think this player will get a lot of buzz for it. It's Amin Thompson again, guys. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to do it. I'm not trying to do it. I just think everyone's talking about him, and for a good reason. And this is, you know, like the thing I can think of that's kind of similar is almost like a Marcus Smart situation, where like the team defense is so good, and he's the best defensive player. So they're like, okay, must just be your award then. And he's not even like a guard. He is a guard, but he's also like 6'7". So he will kind of defend wings and stuff as well. But yeah, I think like his flashiness on the defensive side of the ball kind of pops in people's minds as well.
That's a great pick. I obviously have a lot of respect for his defensive capabilities. I did not think about him, which is crazy to think about. I guess I just was like, oh, the team defense is going to be so good. So I really thought of like standouts, but
Yeah.
something to
He
consider
is
for sure.
he is fourth at plus 1600. Oh, I
Nice.
wanted to tell you, tied with Amin Thompson for plus 1,000, most improved player, Matas Buzelis. So
What?
Lithuanian legend.
I love that, but why? That does not clock to me. That is not clocking right now. But you know what?
Also, I wanted to do this and I totally forgot. Luca, third for Clutch Player of the Year behind KD and Brunson. Where you talked about the top people in Coach of the Year. Where you talked about those people. Rookie of the Year. Yeah, I talked about Rookie of the Year. Okay, we're caught up. Hit me
Yeah,
with your sleeper.
well, I will say I had Luca listed for clutch player, but I was like, I can't just pick Luca for everything because I want to. So
I picked Amon Thompson for like 3 awards,
I
but
know. I'm not trying to be Homer, but I am. No, you're good. I mean, great reason for all of them. It totally makes sense. For my sleeper, I picked Dyson Daniels. The buzz is still around him. He's a guard, so that's why he's kind of a sleeper to me. I feel like usually this goes to a big guy award. Marcus Smart being the last guard to win DPOY that I can remember.
Mhm.
Yeah. So
Yes, he
yeah,
was.
Dyson Daniels. I mean, the Hawks have never been, I feel like, incredibly good at defense because of Trey Young being their main guy, and he's 5'10" on a good day.
Yeah.
So Dyson Daniels was someone I thought of for sure, and last year was so good, especially toward the end of the year. And I hope, I'm sure he'll come down to earth a little bit, but I feel like the Hawks defense will be locked in that maybe he would be considered like a reason why. So Dyson Daniels.
It's fair. I had him on the list and then I erased him for a pick that is more insane. But he is plus 2,200. And I thought of kind of what you said, he might return to earth a bit. And I feel like all the defensive buzz was last year. And since he didn't win it last year, he has kind of missed that window of opportunity. But we shall see. For my third pick, my second plus 10,000 player, I was surprised this player was at plus 10,000 when I looked because I think this team will be pretty good again. Ivica Zubac, baby, coming back. He's coming back. I think the Clippers will be fine. I think he'll be a very good defensive center as he was last year. I think Brook Lopez holding the fort down in his absence may actually help because it will boost, I think, ultimately the team defensive stats because they've never really had a good defensive backup center in his tenure there. And yeah, he got some buzz last year, kind of stuck onto an all defensive team, but I think that this team will again be good defensively. Chris Dunn, Kawhi is playing and healthy and all that stuff. I just don't see why they won't be good and why he won't get some credit for that. So I put him on there at my third spot. And I think,
Love that
they,
pick.
they love centers. They love centers for this award. So
Yeah. No, love that pick. I'm not a Clippers fan notoriously, but I gotta say I do love me some Zoo. So very fun.
you want to hear the other ones?
Yeah,
The other
please.
favorites? Number
Yeah.
two, Chet Holmgren.
I thought about him, but yeah.
I'm like, I'm already over the Thunder.
Yeah. Yeah.
Evan Mobley was third for repeating back to back. And then Amon Thompson, I mentioned fourth, plus 1,600. And then tied with Dyson Daniels at plus 2,200. Fifth place, Anthony Davis.
See,
So,
he's someone I picked the last 2 years as well, and it
yeah,
just never happened. So
it
it's like,
never
I feel
happened.
like it's just kind of past that. So no 3 years in a row, that's for sure. None of that. Well, I think it's time.
It's
I think
time
it's
for
time.
the award that always makes no sense. The narratives drive it the whole way. Despite who we think is clearly the best player, that doesn't always pan out to fruition. Despite how many years, such as last year, when I picked Luka Doncic to win this award, he hasn't won this goddamn award. Um, so yeah,
Yeah, we know
MVP.
how I feel about it. Yeah, yeah, let's talk about it.
In my primary spot, my number one, after not winning it last year, he's coming back, baby. Jokic is coming to take number four. I have to. I just have to. He's the best. He's the best in the league. And I think the Nuggets are going to be really, really good. You had him as the one seed. I had him as the two seed. And I think their team is going to be so good, and he's going to be so loved for it. And he should, because he's awesome. He is the favorite, plus 215. So no overwhelming favorite for this, not in the minus, but he does have the highest odds. At number two, I have the guy that won last year, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, who I had number two last year. So I feel good about that pick. I just think that I had the Thunder as the one seed. They're going to win a ton of games. I don't think he'll get as much love for it last year now that people have kind of seen it. But I do think that he will definitely be kind of an all NBA first teamer for sure, a top 3 to 5 player at worst. So I have him here in the second spot. I do think for MVP, something I don't necessarily always agree with, but with the exception of Jokic, one of his years when they were the sixth seed, and Russell Westbrook the first time, or when he averaged a triple double for the first time since Oscar Robertson, as the sixth seed. Those are the only two times that it wasn't like a top three seed in like the last 20 years. So it is usually teams that win a lot of games, and I just thought Jokic and Shea as the one and two seed in the West, a very competitive West, made the most sense in my brain, especially when you think about those teams over in the East. They're a little more team oriented rather than, granted, the Thunder are team oriented too. The Nuggets, I think it's like, yep, it's Jokic, and then it's everybody else.
Yeah,
Um, but the Knicks, the Cavs, those feel very like even in comparison to these guys.
absolutely. I think those are, I mean, two amazing picks because they are favorites, and for a reason, absolutely for a reason. I no surprise at number one, I also have Nikola Jokic. I think every year he's in the talks for it, and last year probably the year before should have been Luka. Last year should have been Jokic. This year probably Shea. Like it's always I feel like kind of a little lopsided one way or another, but narratives drive it, like you said, and the narrative. I was not mad about Shea winning it last year at all. I thought he deserved it, but I think, like you said, I think the Nuggets are going to be the best team in the West, and I think Jokic is going to be the biggest reason why. So he's my number one pick. Number two, I'm kind of flipping between two. And because to me, I think they're all favorite. I think they're probably all in talks. But I will go with someone who has never won it before. And that's going to be Luka Doncic. Yeah, you got me. Okay, I had to throw him in there somewhere. You know I had to throw him in there somewhere. It ain't just going to be, oh yeah, I'm not going to talk about the Lakers at all. Yeah, sure. Yeah, no, no, he is. Luka Doncic. So I think starting off the season as well without LeBron is going to be a real showcase to see what he's able to do. I feel like this Lakers team hasn't really been built exactly for Luca. I know they've been talking about this timeline, Luca timeline, LeBron timeline. So is this the worst team that Luca's been on for like the last couple of years right now as constructed without LeBron playing? Arguably,
Mm,
some of the Mavericks
yeah, it's tough.
years were kind of tough, but there's a lot of unanswered questions with like, how was Marcus Smart going to be like? What's DeAndre Ayton going to be like? So I feel like if Luka Doncic is able to take the reins from the beginning, and the Lakers are like in the top, and then they're able to kind of stay at the top throughout the year, he'll be a big reason for that. LA, he's going to have the spotlight on him way more than Dallas. I mean, it was a lot on him there, but here it's going to be even more. I think if not now, when? I guess he's still in his prime. It could be anytime soon, but I gotta show Luca love, and I'm just so excited for him to lead my Lakers to the one seed. Kidding, probably like four, but I still think, like you said, like as long as that he still got traded just last year, so this is his first full year there. If he's able to lead them and they're really that good, average almost a triple double, stuff like that. I think those are MVP numbers to me. But again, I mean, Jokic is there too, so tough. But I want to know who your sleeper is.
Yeah. Luca, by the way, plus 440, third in the odds. So he is up there. I have for my sleeper, my third plus 10,000 pick of the day, because I do think this team will skyrocket the standings. I already said you got to be a top three team, and I think this team will sneak in at three in the East. He looked like it last year. Paolo Banchero is who I have at my sleeper pick. looked so good to start the season. Then he had an injury. Then he didn't look as good as the year progressed. I think the Desmond Bane addition will kind of free up Paolo and kind of allow him to operate a little more smoothly in that offense with a little bit more spacing. Obviously, I think the Magic defense is going to be very good. I don't necessarily think he's the driving factor of that, but I think when you have a team that is going to potentially be a top three seed, as we've said, and you have this guy who's going to be their primary scorer, unless Franz takes a huge jump, like Paolo is clearly the guy. Even Desmond Bain, who we both really like, I think he's going to operate a lot off the ball most of the time. So I have him here at my third spot, plus 10,000. Hopefully, I'm right. Last year I had Brunson in this spot, so
I love that Paolo pick. I considered him. I know last year I mean, at the beginning of the year, we were kind of talking, hey, he definitely could be MVP this year. Not
yeah.
crazy. I love that. I considered him. The reason why I didn't pick him is because I think with Desmond Bain being there, it takes the focus. It becomes more team than like just him as the focus. But obviously, I mean, Desmond Bain's great off the ball. He'll definitely take second to Paolo. It's Paolo's team. I think they know that. So totally see a world where Paolo, especially if he can stay healthy and everyone else isn't as able to play as much, definitely a world where Paolo wins MVP. I have someone who's won the MVP before, even though it hasn't been for a couple years, but because I think of the situation and everything going on in the East, it's really you're never really sure, especially like right now. I have Giannis. I have Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Big Giannis
I
lover.
Yeah, I really tried not to really favorite one side or the other, but looking back now, I just realized I did pick Giannis for a lot of these things, and I don't think he's the favorite in like top two. Obviously, I didn't mention that, but I think the Bucks are going to be again kind of good, more than you expect. And I feel like he's going to have numbers that are going to be hard to deny because he's also very efficient because he really does get like a lot of close shots and whatnot. And I feel like what Giannis has that the other two don't have is his defense too. I feel like his defensive numbers are also going to be a lot higher. So I just have a lot of faith in Giannis as a player. Not in the Bucks, I would say, but I feel like it's going to be a lot of eyes on him. So could see a world where he gets MVP.
That's very fair. Giannis is at plus 1,300. That is fifth. So we have named Jokic, Shea, Luka, Giannis, one, two, three, and five. Who do you think number four is?
I'm going to say Anthony Edwards.
No, Anthony Edwards is number six, plus 2,000.
Ooh, interesting.
I'll tell you
I'm.
this, you're not going to like it.
Oh, is it LaMelo Ball?
Well, that would be
Oh,
insane.
Jalen
LaMelo
Brown.
Ball is plus 25,000.
He's
Jalen
on.
Brown is
Oh
plus 25,000 as well.
Oh my God. Who am I not? Oh, it's gonna be like James Harden.
Too early.
Too early.
It's too early for fourth in MVP odds.
Oh, it's not. Is it Wemby?
It's Wemby.
No. No. No, 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 no,
Hey,
no.
we
I
have an
like
S here.
yes, but no. No, 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 no. I cannot. The fourth is insane. I'm not happy with that. You got that. You got that right. Too early.
Yeah.
Literally, I was like, what are you talking about? Like it's like 8:30 here. It's like, what are you here? Like, I did get a
Yeah.
little.
Anthony
Uh,
Edwards plus 2,000, Cade plus 5,000, KD plus 6,600. Oh, you're not gonna like the next name either.
keep going.
You don't think it's the best player on it. You want somebody else to be the best player on this team. You want somebody else to take over.
Is
Eastern
it
Conference,
Oh my God. Is
very
it Embiid?
unhealthy. It's Embiid. Yeah.
What the
Embiid is
heck?
next.
Does no one learn? This guy's gonna play like 20 games. What the hell?
And then
Oh
tied
God.
with my pick of Paolo is Donovan Mitchell and Jalen Brunson.
Yeah. I mean, all great players in their own respect for sure. I like our picks a lot. I like our MVP. I thought it was gonna be a little too cut and dry, but I think we covered the
Yeah, I
spectrum
wanted
of it.
Luca on there. I just had the Lakers all the way down at five or six. I don't remember, and I was like, oh, that feels a little too low for my comfort.
For sure. Totally understand. And don't worry because I had to put him there, so someone's going to talk about him.
He's gonna win one day, and I'm not. It's gonna be the one of these years I don't predict him. Like, God damn, I've
Yeah.
been predicting it for
Maybe
four
maybe
years.
it's the next one. Please, please, please. That means we must be top three. Please, please, please. Yeah, no, it'll happen one of these days. It has to. Come on, he's just too good.
Too
Well,
good.
those are
Hey, how
our
about this?
awards. What?
Let's do, we're not running the super long. How about impromptu on the spot? Give me your finals matchup. Who is beating
Oh,
who in the finals
wait,
for
let me look at
the
my Oh my okay, okay, hold on. Let me look at my standings. I got them right here. Okay, so I think I like Knicks Nuggets. Those are
that's
my
the
two one
exact
seeds.
matchup that I had in my head.
Really? But they're not
But I
your
have them both at two seeds.
Yeah, what the that's so funny. Well, good you
Regular
think
season record and playoffs are two different things.
it is very true. I mean, I think Knicks Nuggets, and honestly, I like Knicks and six. Why not?
Um, yeah, I'll take Nuggets. I'll take Nuggets in seven. That's our preseason finals pick right there.
Without even watching any any play of them. Yeah, the Nuggets are deeper. I like I'm saying Knicks because I feel like they're the underdog. So
I feel
Knicks.
like I'll be not shocked, but the Knicks feel like such a clear going to the finals team this year. It feels
Isn't
so
that
clear in
crazy?
my brain.
Yeah.
Even though I didn't have them as the one seed and I had the Cavs as the one seed, I just feel like the Cavs will win that series. So like I'm like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Unless some of those other guys, some of those other stars, quote unquote, step up, I foresee the Knicks winning. Or, I mean, of course, they do have a couple of guys on their team that get injured, so hopefully that's not the case.
Yeah.
Um,
I just
yeah,
really want I will okay, before we kind of like wrap up and everything, I do want to say I love that the NBA is in a point of parity where it is almost impossible to know who is going to win. Yes, there are favorites. I will say that I also love when teams that have never been to the finals go. So I could also kind of see like Timberwolves and like Magic. Magic haven't been there since like 2009. So that'd be cool.
the
Or the
Knicks haven't
Hawks.
been there in forever.
I know, no, no, Knicks too. But I mean, like Knicks are everyone loves the Knicks. I get that, but just like
Yeah,
really wouldn't think teams like that. And Timberwolves have always the last 2 years, especially, always get the Western Conference Finals somehow, and then squeak into the finals. I mean, you never know. Just,
for
that's kind of
sure.
like that's my sleeper finals. There we go.
Yeah, we picked top three series. This series and then this series. This Clippers Pistons finals is gonna go crazy.
Okay. Hey, where's the end this meeting? Where's the end this meeting button?
Huh?
Yeah. No, yeah, this was fun. I always love every time we do this. You you talk about players that I didn't think of, and hopefully it's like the same. Like I feel like that's just
Yeah,
like a
yeah.
fun way because always it's so boring when it's just like, oh yeah, it's gonna be these guys. Oh, okay, next thing, it's these guys. So it's fun that we're at a time where it's you never really know. Gotta love it.
For sure. For sure,
So
skis.
who do you think's gonna win tomorrow? Rockets, Thunder, Warriors, Lakers? What's your
I'll
prediction?
take the Thunder and I'll take the Lakers.
Thank you. I'll take the Rockets and the Lakers.
Yeah, the Warriors is probably the smarter pick with LeBron out, but I don't like them, so I'll pick the Lakers.
Yeah, and I want the Rock. I want KD to kind of be like, "Oh yeah, I'm still him." Just kind of show up and win with their rings. They're gonna play with their rings on. Ah, so happy.
There you go. Could be, could be.
Sorry, that was a bad joke. Anyways, I'm very excited. I don't know if you can tell. I'm like so stoked for a tip off tomorrow. We're
You're
gonna be
giddy, but
talking.
not Josh.
Absolutely, I would never be Josh. I am very excited to talk about week one next time we pod
Yeah.
next and.
And we got to get these city jerseys, man. Where are they at?
Where
Show them
are they?
to me.
I looked it up, and it was saying that they will release like all of them right before the in-season tournament. In-season tournament starts next week, so it's like, okay, release them. But I guess they're trying to milk the tip off. They'll probably do it maybe over the weekend, like Monday or something. I'm like, just give it to me
Hopefully in time
now.
for our next pod, and we can talk about that instead of the NBA. Say, okay, guys, we usually do it in the off season, but they took too long, so here we are.
for a record 3 hours 46 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, we had to top our last episode in terms of length
I'm okay
with
with
city
that.
jersey talk. Yeah, of course. That's
Dude,
what
I
we do
love
it
it.
for.
Yeah. All right. Well, Damon, if you please take the shot.
I will take the shot. Don't rush me, man.
I would never.
That's gonna affect my percentage. My percentage is already pretty low. So
But your efficiency is so the
uh,
attempts you
luck,
take,
luck,
you're
luck, luckily with the new NBA rule, this doesn't count as a personal field goal. It's a team field goal. So we're
oh yeah.
we're good on that.
It's a half court heave.
Yeah.
It's all right. Well, I just want to say again, thanks everyone for listening. And if you haven't yet, subscribe, like, comment, share. We want to hear from you guys. What did we get right? What did we get wrong? And we will catch you next time on Two Man Game with Damon and Dom.
Comment that Dom is so handsome. Buckets.